Chapter 12. Tathagatahood, which is noble wisdom. Then said Mahamati to the Blessed One, "It has been taught in the canonical books that the Buddhas are subject to neither birth nor destruction. And you have said that the Unborn is one of the names of the Tathagatas. Does that mean that the Tathagata is a non-entity?" The Blessed One replied, "The Tathagata is not a non-entity, nor is he to be conceived as other things, or is neither born nor disappearing, nor is he subject to causation, nor is he without significance, yet I refer to him as the Unborn. There is yet another name for the Tathagata, the mind-appearing one, which his essence body assumes at will in the transformations incident to his work of emancipation. This is beyond the understanding of common disciples and masters, and even beyond the full comprehension of those Bodhisattvas who remain in the seventh stage. Yes, Mahamati, the Unborn is synonymous with Tathagata." Then Mahamati said, "If the Tathagatas are unborn, there does not seem to be anything to take hold of, no entity. Or is there something that bears another name than entity? And what can that something be?" The Blessed One replied, "Objects are frequently known by different names according to different aspects that they present. The god Indra is sometimes known as Chakra, and sometimes as Purandara. These different names are sometimes used interchangeably, and sometimes they are discriminated. But different objects are not to be imagined because of the different names, nor are they without individuation. The same can be said of myself as I appear in this world of patience before ignorant people, and where I am known by uncounted trillions of names. They address me by different names, not realizing that they are all names of the one Tathagata. Some recognize me as Tathagata, some as the self-existent one, some as Gautama the ascetic, some as Buddha. Then there are others who recognize me as Brahma, as Vishnu, as Ishvara. Some see me as sun, as moon, some as a reincarnation of the ancient sages, some as one of the 10 powers, some as Rama, some as Indra, and some as Varuna. Still there are others who speak of me as the Unborn, as emptiness, as suchness, as truth, as reality, as ultimate principle. Still there are others who see me as Dharmakaya, as Nirvana, as the Eternal. Some speak of me as sameness, as non-duality, as undying, as formless. Some think of me as the doctrine of Buddha causation, or of emancipation, or of the noble path. And some think of me as divine mind and noble wisdom thus, in this world. And in other worlds am I known by these uncounted names. But they all see me as the moon is seen in water. Though they all honor, praise, and esteem me, they do not fully understand the meaning and significance of the words they use. Not having their own self-realization of truth, they cling to the words of their canonical books, or to what has been told them, or to what they have imagined, and fail to see that the name they are using is only one of the many names of the Tathagata. In their studies, they follow the mere words of the text vainly, trying to gain the true meaning, instead of having confidence in the one text, where self-confirming. Truth is revealed, that is, having confidence in the self-realization of noble wisdom.
Then said Mahamati, "Pray tell us, Blessed One, about the self-nature of the Tathagatas." The Blessed One replied, "If the Tathagata is to be described by such expressions as made or unmade, effect or cause, we would have to describe him as neither made, nor unmade, nor effect, nor cause. But if we so described him, we would be guilty of dualistic discrimination. If the Tathagata is something made, he would be impermanent. If he is impermanent, anything made would be a Tathagata. If he is something unmade, then all effort to realize Tathagatahood would be useless. That which is neither an effect nor a cause, is neither a being nor a non-being, and is outside the four propositions. The four propositions belong to worldly uses. That which is outside them is no more than a word, like a barren woman's child. So are all the terms concerning the Tathagata to be understood. When it is said that all things are egoless, it means that all things are devoid of selfhood. Each thing may have its own individuality. The being of a horse is not of cow nature. It is such as it is of its own nature, and is thus discriminated by the ignorant. But, nevertheless, its own nature is of the nature of a dream or a vision. That is why the ignorant and the simple-minded, who are in the habit of discriminating appearances, fail to understand the significance of egolessness. It is not until discrimination is gotten rid of that the fact that all things are empty, unborn, non-dual, and without self-nature can be appreciated. Mahamati, all these expressions as applied to the Tathagatas are without meaning. For that which is none of these is something removed from all measurement, and that which is removed from all measurement turns into a meaningless word. That which is a mere word is something unborn. That which is unborn is not subject to destruction. That which is not subject to destruction is like space, and space is neither effect nor cause. That which is neither effect nor cause is something unconditioned. That which is unconditioned is beyond all reasoning. That which is beyond all reasoning. That is the Tathagata. The self-nature of Tathagatahood is far removed from all predicates and measurements. The self-nature of Tathagatahood is noble wisdom.
Then Mahamati said to the Blessed One, "Are the Tathagatas permanent or impermanent?" The Blessed One replied, "The Tathagatas are neither permanent nor impermanent. If either is asserted, there is error connected with it. If the Tathagata is said to be permanent, then he will be connected with the creating agencies, for, according to the philosophers, the creating agencies are something uncreated and permanent. But the Tathagatas are not connected with the so-called creating agencies, and in that sense he is impermanent. If he is said to be impermanent, then he is connected with things that are created, for they also are impermanent. For these reasons the Tathagatas are neither permanent nor impermanent. Neither can the Tathagatas be said to be permanent in the sense that space is said to be permanent, or that the horns of a hare can be said to be permanent, for, being unreal, they exclude all ideas of permanency or impermanency. This does not apply to the Tathagatas because they come forth from the habit energy of ignorance, which is connected with the mind system and the elements that make up personality. The triple world originates from the discrimination of unrealities, and where discrimination takes place there is duality, and the notion of permanency and impermanency. But the Tathagatas do not rise from the discrimination of unrealities. Thus, as long as there is discrimination, there will be the notion of permanency and impermanency. When discrimination is done away with, noble wisdom, which is based on the significance of solitude, will be established. However, there is another sense in which the Tathagatas may be said to be permanent. Transcendental intelligence rising with the attainment of enlightenment is of a permanent nature. This truth essence, which is discoverable in the enlightenment of all who are enlightened, is realizable as the regulative and sustaining principle of reality, which forever abides. The transcendental intelligence attained intuitively by the Tathagatas by their self-realization of noble wisdom is a realization of their own self-nature. In this sense, the Tathagatas are permanent. The eternal unthinkable of the Tathagatas is the suchness of noble wisdom realized within themselves. It is both eternal and beyond thought. It conforms to the idea of a cause, and yet is beyond existence and non-existence. Because it is the exalted state of noble wisdom, it has its own character. Because it is the cause of highest reality, it is its own causation. Its eternality is not derived from reasonings based on external notions of being and non-being, nor of eternality nor non-eternality. Being classed under the same head as space, cessation, nirvana, it is eternal. Because it has nothing to do with existence and non-existence, it is no creator. Because it has nothing to do with creation nor with being and non-being, but is only revealed in the exalted state of noble wisdom, it is truly eternal. When the twofold passions are destroyed, and the twofold hindrances are cleared away, and the twofold egolessness is fully understood, and the inconceivable transformation death of the Bodhisattva is attained, that which remains is the self-nature of the Tathagatas. When the teachings of the Dharma are fully understood, and are perfectly realized by the disciples and masters, that which is realized in their deepest consciousness is their own Buddha nature revealed as Tathagata. In a true sense, there are four kinds of sameness relating to Buddha nature. There is sameness of letters, sameness of words, sameness of meaning, and sameness of essence. The name Buddha is spelled B-U-D-D-H-A. The letters are the same when used for any Buddha or Tathagata. When the Brahmins teach, they use various words, and when the Tathagatas teach, they use the very same words. In respect to words, there is a sameness between us. In the teachings of all the Tathagatas, there is a sameness of meaning. Among all the Buddhas, there is a sameness of Buddha nature. They all have the 32 marks of excellence and the 80 minor signs of bodily perfection. There is no distinction among them except as they manifest various transformations, according to the different dispositions of beings who are to be disciplined and emancipated by various means, in the ultimate essence which is Dharmakaya.
all the Buddhas of the past, present, and future are of one sameness. Then said Mahamati to the Blessed One, "It has been said by the Blessed One that from the night of the enlightenment to the night of the parinirvana, the Tathagata has uttered no word, nor ever will utter a word. In what deep meaning is this true?" The Blessed One replied, "By two reasons of deepest meaning is it true. In the light of the truth self-realized by noble wisdom, and in the truth of an eternally abiding reality, the self-realization of noble wisdom by all the Tathagatas is the same as my own self-realization of noble wisdom. There is no more, no less, no difference. And all the Tathagatas bear witness that the state of self-realization is free from words and discriminations, and has nothing to do with the dualistic way of speaking. That is, all beings receive the teachings of the Tathagatas through self-realization of noble wisdom, not through words of discrimination. Again, Mahamati, there has always been an eternally abiding reality. The substance of truth, Dharmadhatu, abides forever, whether a Tathagata appears in the world or not. So does the reason of all things, Dharmata, eternally abide. So does reality, Paramartha, abide and keep its order. What has been realized by myself and all other Tathagatas is this reality, Dharmakaya, the eternally abiding self-orderliness of reality, the suchness, Tathata, of things, the realness of things, Buddhata, noble wisdom, which is truth itself. The sun radiates its splendor spontaneously on all alike and with no words of explanation. In like manner do the Tathagatas radiate the truth of noble wisdom, with no recourse to words and to all alike. For these reasons is it stated by me that from the night of the enlightenment to the night of the Tathagata's parinirvana, he has not uttered, nor ever will he utter one word. And the same is true of all the Buddhas.
Then said Mahamati, "Blessed One, you speak of the sameness of all the Buddhas, but in other places you have spoken of Dharmata Buddha, Nishanda Buddha, and Nirmana Buddha, as though they were different from each other. How can they be the same and yet different?" The Blessed One replied, "I speak of the different Buddhas as opposed to the views of the philosophers, who base their teachings on the reality of an external world of form, and who cherish discriminations and attachments arising therefrom. Against the teachings of these philosophers I disclose the Nirmana Buddha, the Buddha of transformations in the many transformations of the Tathagata stage,
The Nirvana Buddha establishes such matters as charity, morality, patience, thoughtfulness, and tranquilization. By right knowledge, he teaches the true understanding of the Maya-like nature, of the elements that make up personality and its external world. He teaches the true nature of the mind system as a whole, and in the distinctions of its forms, functions, and ways of performance. In a deeper sense, the Nirvana Buddha symbolizes the principles of differentiation and integration, by reason of which all component things are distributed, all complexities simplified, all thoughts analyzed. At the same time, it symbolizes the harmonizing, unifying power of sympathy and compassion. It removes all obstacles, it harmonizes all differences. It brings into perfect oneness the discordant many. For the emancipation of all beings, the Bodhisattvas and Tathagatas assume bodies of transformation and employ many skillful devices. This is the work of the Nirvana Buddha. For the enlightenment of the Bodhisattvas and their sustaining along the stages, the inconceivable is made realizable. The Nishanda Buddha, the outflowing Buddha, through transcendental intelligence, reveals the true meaning and significance of appearances, discrimination, attachment, and of the power of habit energy which is accumulated by them and conditions them, and of the unbornness, the emptiness, the egolessness of all things. Because of transcendental intelligence and the purification of the evil outflowings of life, all dualistic views of existence and non-existence are transcended, and by self-realization of noble wisdom, the true imagelessness of reality is made manifest. The inconceivable glory of Buddhahood is made manifest in rays of noble wisdom. Noble wisdom is the self-nature of the Tathagatas. This is the work of the Nishanda Buddha. In a deeper sense, the Nishanda Buddha symbolizes the emergence of the principles of intellection and compassion, but as yet undifferentiated and in perfect balance, potential but unmanifested, looked at from the ingoing side of the Bodhisattvas. Nishanda Buddha is seen in the glorified bodies of the Tathagatas, looked at from the forthgoing side of Buddhahood. Nishanda Buddha is seen in the radiant personalities of the Tathagatas, ready and eager to manifest the inherent love and wisdom of the Dharmakaya. Dharmata Buddha is Buddhahood in its self-nature of perfect oneness, in whom absolute tranquility prevails. As noble wisdom, Dharmata Buddha transcends all differentiated knowledge, is the goal of intuitive self-realization, and is the self-nature of the Tathagatas. As noble wisdom, Dharmata Buddha is inscrutable, ineffable, unconditioned. Dharmata Buddha is the ultimate principle of reality from which all things derive their being and truthfulness, but which in itself transcends all predicates. Dharmata Buddha is the central sun which holds all, illuminates all its inconceivable essence, is made manifest in the outflowing glory of Nishanda Buddha, and in the transformations of Nirvana Buddha.
Then said Mahamati, "Pray tell us, Blessed One, more about the Dharmakaya." The Blessed One replied, We have been speaking of it in terms of Buddhahood, but as it is inscrutable and beyond predicate, we may just as well speak of it as the truth body, or the truth principle of ultimate reality. This ultimate principle of reality may be considered as it is manifested under 7 aspects. First, as Chittagokshara, it is the world of spiritual experience and the abode of the Tathagatas on their outgoing mission of emancipation. It is noble wisdom manifested as the principle of irradiance and individuation. Second, as Jnana, it is the mind world and its principle of intellection and consciousness. Third, as Drishti, it is the realm of dualism, which is the physical world of birth and death, wherein are manifested all the differentiations of thinker, thinking and thought about, and wherein are manifested the principles of sensation, deception, discrimination, desire, attachment, and suffering. Fourth, because of the greed, anger, infatuation, suffering, and need of the physical world incident to discrimination and attachment, it reveals a world beyond the realm of dualism, wherein it appears as the integrating principle of charity and sympathy. Fifth, in a realm still higher, which is the abode of the Bodhisattva stages, and is analogous to the mind world, where the interests of heart transcend those of the mind. It appears as the principle of compassion and self-giving. 6. In the spiritual realm where the Bodhisattvas attain Buddhahood, it appears as the principle of perfect love, Karuna. Here the lost clinging to an ego self is abandoned, and the Bodhisattva enters into his self-realization of noble wisdom, which is the bliss of the Tathagata's perfect enjoyment of his inmost nature. Seventh is Praja. It is the active aspect of the ultimate principle, wherein both the forthgoing and the incoming principles are alike, implicit and potential, and wherein both wisdom and love are in perfect balance, harmony, and oneness. These are the 7 aspects of the ultimate principle of Dharmakaya, by reason of which all things are made manifest and perfected and then reintegrated, and all remaining within its inscrutable oneness, with no signs of individuation, nor beginning, nor succession, nor ending. We speak of it as Dharmakaya, as ultimate principle, as Buddhahood, as Nirvana. What matters it? They are only other names for noble wisdom.
Mahamati, you and all the Bodhisattva. Mahasattvas should avoid the erroneous reasonings of the philosophers and seek for a self-realization of noble wisdom.